back to Storyboard 360. I'm Debbie. Thanks for joining me for today's video. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Today I talk about the tragic death of 26-year-old Jamaican Alpachino Mignott in November 2024. This case is a little different because Al Pacino's death has been ruled as non-criminal by authorities, and the circumstances surrounding his death involve two countries, Canada and the United States. Even though police officials have ruled Al Pacino's death as non-criminal, Al Pacino's mother, Mishanda Nesbeth, has stated that she believes that he was killed. Alpachino Mignott was born on February 2, 1998, in Jamaica, where he lived until his death, and was a member of the Jamaica national rugby team. Mishanda described her son as being caring and driven, and having a kind heart, and not wanting to see people suffer or be hungry. She added that if he was able to help someone, that was what he would do. Sports were a key part of Al Pacino's life, and he was already participating in various sports and major sporting events at an early age. When he was in primary school, he participated in the Miami Classics in a track event. According to the YouTube channel The Noble Cop, while at the Jonathan Grant High School, he played football, a sport he loved, but despite being good, he was not being given access to opportunities within the sport that would launch him further. Despite not being given the chance to join a football team, Al Pacino persisted and joined the Jamaica youth rugby team. Al Pacino was reported to be a great player and took the game seriously. This was where Al Pacino found his place and was on the team that made history as the first Caribbean team to play in a major rugby championship. Al Pacino then received a scholarship to attend the G.C. Foster College in Jamaica, where he studied and trained for 2 years, and then he attended the Caribbean Maritime University, where he studied logistics. On October 16, 2024, Al Pacino Mignott traveled to Ontario, Canada, with the Jamaica National Rugby League to play a friendly tournament. According to reporting on the Rugby League Jamaica website, Al Pacino was also there for vacation, and the match was set to be played on Saturday, October 19th at the Lamport Stadium in Toronto. RJLam.com reported that Al Pacino's return date to Jamaica was October 23rd, and within 1 week of the game being played, other teammates had returned to Jamaica, England, and the USA. In an interview Al Pacino's mom did on the YouTube channel Schoolers Jamaica TV, she mentioned that Al Pacino never missed a match and the trip to Canada was self-funded via a loan Al Pacino had taken out. According to Mishanda, this was her son's first time visiting Canada, but he had traveled to America, Mexico, and Hong Kong in the past. While participating in rugby, Al Pacino also held a full-time job. Mishanda also shared that her son had won Man of the Match for a game that was played in Texas and received other medals. Rugby League Jamaica confirmed that the match was played on October 19th in Toronto, and Al Pacino left the stadium on an Uber to head to Niagara to meet a friend. It had also been reported that a social that took place after the game was not attended by Al Pacino, and on that day, Al Pacino was last seen in the Kent and Queenstown area in the town Niagara on the Lake at about 10:45 p.m. Niagara on the Lake is a town in southern Ontario. It sits on the shores of Lake Ontario at the mouth of the Niagara River. Queenstown is about 10 to 11.4 kilometers or 6.3 to 7.1 miles and a 14-minute drive from Niagara Falls. In an interview on the YouTube channel African Diaspora News, Mishanda shared that she spoke to her son on Saturday, October 19th after the rugby match. On Sunday, October 20th at 3 a.m., she received a call from Alpachino's girlfriend, Alicia, who lives in the US, and was worried because she had made plans to meet up with Alpachino, but he was not picking up her calls. His girlfriend then told her that while he was on the Uber, they were texting back and forth, but in the last text message she received from him, he told her he was coming off the Uber now and see you soon. That was the last time his girlfriend had heard from him. According to Mishanda Nesbeth, his girlfriend told her that she tried calling him back from that point on Saturday to Sunday morning. Mishanda tried to call her son after 3 a.m. on Sunday morning up to 4 a.m., and the phone was ringing. According to the Niagara police, the rideshare driver dropped off Mignott in the Queenstown neighborhood near the Niagara River around 10:45 p.m. on October 19th. A missing person report for Alpachino Mignott was officially issued by the Niagara Regional Police Service on October 29, 2024, which was 10 days after he disappeared. So when I recognized that it was 10 days after he disappeared that the missing person report was filed, I was surprised by this and I found it puzzling that it took them that long to issue this report. During the interview on the YouTube channel African Diaspora News, Mishanda said that the Niagara police told her that they checked the nearby river, scanned local hotel footage, and spoke to the Uber driver but came up empty. Nesbeth then flew into Toronto from Jamaica to help with the search. According to the Jamaica Star newspaper, on November 27, 2024, while Mishanda was still in Canada, she received the news that no parent ever wants to hear. A partially decomposed body had been found in the Niagara River near Youngstown, New York. So I have to point out that some news outlets will report that his body was located in Buffalo, New York, but my research confirmed that Youngstown is about 45 kilometers or 28 miles north of Buffalo. So Youngstown is a village located in Niagara County and is completely separate from the city of Buffalo. The body that was found was wearing a rugby uniform and had a visible tattoo. Mishanda had contacted his girlfriend to ask about the phrase that was on Alpachino's tattoo, and based on what she said, Mom saw this as confirmation for her that this was her son. In the Jamaica Star, Mishanda was quoted as saying, "When I got the call and they told me about the tattoo, I knew it was my son. I just broke down and cried. I kept hoping they were wrong, that somehow it wasn't him. But when they told me about his tattoo, I just knew." Months later, using DNA, the body discovered in the Niagara River near Youngstown, New York, was officially identified as Alpachino Mignott. The official cause of death has been confirmed as drowning, and there was no indication of foul play listed in the coroner's report. Officials believe that Alpachino likely drowned while trying to cross the river into the US from Canada. Mishanda stated that the detective said that she believed he was on a raft trying to go across to the US and he developed difficulties and fell in the water and drowned. Mishanda stated that she does not believe that he fell in the water and drowned. Her theory is that he was killed because when she made the post on Facebook that her son was missing, she got a call and the person said they had a message for Alpachino. And the person said, I'm going to cut his throat and throw him in the river. She said, why would you do that? And the person said, that's what I'm telling you I'm going to do so you can look out. Mishanda said she did not post anything concerning River. Mishanda made a report to Detective Kelly in Canada under the Jamaica Defense Force. Mishanda explained that her son was not the type of person to talk to a random person, to ask for help, to go across to the US, and she believes that anyone he communicated with would be someone he knew and trusted. Mishanda stated that she went to Kent Street and Queenstown, which was near the border, and there's a part near the river where you lose all communication. So Mishanda had shared that her son was sharing his location with his girlfriend. They were sharing location with each other. So basically, she's saying that it did not show that he moved from Kent Street, but it showed that he moved from Queenstown to Kent Street. It did not show that he moved any further. Investigations by the Niagara Regional Police outlined that Mignott's last movement on October 19, 2024, was him being dropped off by a rideshare vehicle. This digital footprint provided a precise timestamp and geographic location at the intersection of Kent and Queenstown Street in Queenstown, Ontario. Mishanda explained that while in the area where her son was last seen, someone had to come with her to show her where the track was, where it was thought he took to get to the river, and she believed someone had led him to where he was going because it was difficult to find and see in the day. So she's just basically saying if it was so difficult to find in the day, there's no way her son Alpachino, like being never been to Canada at all. This is his first time being to the country. He never would have been able to find that path on his own. So somebody would have had to help him. She added that he would not go off by himself in just a sweatsuit top and sweatsuit bottom. His coat that he was wearing was not found, and Mishanda confirmed that no personal items were found. So Mishanda had explained that there is this coat that you will see him. It's like a winter coat that he bought when he visited the country. So she's just saying that was not found, which she found suspicious that he did not have that on. Alpachino was staying in an Airbnb in Brampton, and Mishanda started doing her own investigation because she was told that nobody had gone there to check. She had contacted someone associated with the Airbnb, and this is not the owner, just somebody who was connected to it. But she was told that there was no footage because the batteries in the camera had died on the 4 days that Al Pacino stayed there. She said this person said he remembered that three Indian men and a girl came there, and then he asked Mishanda if the girl was his girlfriend. Mishanda found this to be suspicious and believed that the detectives should go and look at the footage to rule out everything, such as who visited the Airbnb. Mishanda expressed that she believes that the detective saw her son as someone who was just trying to run off to the US instead of seeing his death as a possible murder. According to Mishanda, his girlfriend had told her she had asked him why he was coming off in that location because he was not supposed to come off in that location but he did not respond. In a surprising twist, Mishanda revealed that Al Pacino's friend called her when he found out that Al Pacino was missing and told her that he spoke to Al Pacino briefly at 7 a.m. Jamaica time, which would be 8 a.m. Canada time, on October 20th on Sunday. The friend asked Al Pacino about the match and told him he watched the match. Al Pacino said he was good and that he would call him back later. Mishanda has made it clear that she did not know the details of the meetup between her son and his girlfriend. She did not know how they were planning to meet up. Mishanda has stated that there is a motel at Kent Street, and detectives said they checked the motel, but he was not there. Mishanda believes he was likely in the Kent and Queenstown Street location on Sunday morning, based on the tip from his friend saying he had spoken to him that morning. Also, Mishanda believes that he was told to turn off his location. Mishanda has made it clear that someone knows something, and if he got a raft to go over to the US, she wonders how he got the raft as he would have gotten it from someone. Mishanda also questioned why his jacket and knapsack with personal items were missing. She also mentioned that no raft was found. She believes that these personal items and raft should be searched for if the detectives believe this is what happened. Mishanda says she wants to see justice for her son and she wants the truth to come out and does not want his story to be seen as another black guy running off to a different country because he was not in need or suffering or struggling. She also added that he listened to the wrong voice. On the YouTube channel School as Jamaica TV, someone who identified himself as a member of Al Pacino's rugby team was interviewed. So, this anonymous teammate confirmed that after the game, they usually have a social where they get together and eat food, but Al Pacino did not attend that social and left after the game. Also, Al Pacino did not stay in the same hotel as the other players, and instead he stayed at an Airbnb as mentioned. Despite staying in separate locations, they were all staying in Brampton. This teammate mentioned that the tattoo on Al Pacino's neck was his girlfriend's name, Alicia, and they were talking for 4 months. This teammate stated that Al Pacino had never met Alicia and she had said that she ran off through the border because she was seeking asylum. This teammate mentioned that Al Pacino told his friend that he wanted to run through the border in Mexico to meet his girlfriend, but he was told to not do that. According to this team member, they planned to meet up, and once he came off the taxi, they heard nothing else. The members of the team have a group chat for the team, and they have heard nothing from Al Pacino. According to this team member, another plan he heard about was that Al Pacino planned to meet his girlfriend and say hi at the border. But the team member stated that this is not something you can simply do at the border because it does not work that way without going through the checkpoint. So basically, this teammate was saying that his plan to just go to the border to say hi to each other did not make sense to him because, as everyone knows, you would have to. This is not something you can do very easily at the border. You'd have to go through a checkpoint. So he was just confused by this plan, this other plan. Other sources have reported that Al Pacino knew his girlfriend from Jamaica, but they had lost contact with each other. They then reconnected on TikTok and became serious. So, one story is that she never met her, but then with other stories you will hear that he knew her long before when they were both in Jamaica but then lost contact. So these sources have also reported that Al Pacino's girlfriend had crossed into the US from Mexico without proper documents. According to the YouTube channel The Noble Cop, Al Pacino had recently attempted to get a US visa twice, but he was unsuccessful. So Al Pacino had visited the US before and had traveled to various states. So people were wondering why he was turned down after being there so many times. It has been reported that after it was made known that Al Pacino was missing, his girlfriend Alicia deleted her TikTok and cleared all of her social media pages. So if someone used a raft to get to Niagara on the lake to Youngstown, it would take 15 to 30 minutes of paddling time, and the direct distance is 1.5 kilometers across the river mouth. So I want to mention that this is something that many people attempt to do to cross over from Canada to the US. And maybe from, I'm not sure if they do it, they go from the US to Canada. The border at Youngstown, like the border into the US, is heavily patrolled. So while this sounds simple, there are hidden dangers. So the first one is millions of gallons of water flush out of the Niagara River every second, and a raft will constantly be pulled into the vast open waters of Lake Ontario. The second danger is that right at the mouth of the river, the fast moving river water collides with the deeper, colder, and slower water of Lake Ontario, and this creates unpredictable swells, shifting sandbars, and swirling currents that can easily flip an unstable raft. And the third danger is that the channel is heavily utilized by large fishing charters, coast guard vessels, and sailboats, which can make a raft difficult to see, creating a high collision risk. While I believe that based on the evidence, Al Pacino likely drowned while attempting to cross into the US via the Niagara River, I do not rule out the possibility that he met with foul play while trying to do this. I agree with Al Pacino's mother that there are too many unanswered questions, and the police should have done an extensive investigation beyond just saying they believe he drowned while trying to cross in the US. I question why the police did not look into who was helping Al Pacino to cross the river. This was his first time visiting Canada, and it would have been impossible for him to do this alone. As I mentioned before, there are many unanswered questions, and I will review some of these questions when I do a review in my case reflection follow up video. Alpachino Mignott was a driven and ambitious young man who had a very bright future ahead of him. There's a lot to learn from his life and this case. We remember that he was a talented rugby athlete from Jamaica, and he was a son whose loss is deeply felt by his mother, other loved ones, and his community. His mother, Mishanda, fought tirelessly for her son, and while the official investigation closed the case as non criminal, Mishanda and the community continue to seek answers, and they deserve answers. May his mother and other loved ones finally find the answers they deserve, as well as continued strength and peace. What do you really think happened in this case? Let me know in the comments, and please subscribe to help keep stories like Al Pacino's alive.